We've met so many brave people in Sochi, people who have taken a stand to protect their homes, their families, the places where they grew up, the places where they saw their whole future.
Это все было на мой дом. Я всю жизнь потратил на свой дом. У меня большая семья, у меня дочка, сын, внуки, жена. Жили все в этом доме. В 96 году мы построили дом. В 2012 году шла Олимпиада, дом мой сломали.
We've documented forced evictions, people who were kicked out of their homes in order to make way for Olympic venues and infrastructure. The Russian government has evicted a few thousand people, and in most cases, gave those people compensation or relocated them to alternative housing. But what we found was that in a number of cases, the Russian government really took advantage of some ambiguities in the law that happened right after the Soviet period in a very confusing time of privatization.
Объяснили, что наши строения подпадают под снос, так как будет идти дорога, якобы через наш дом. 13 лет назад они уже подавали по тому же делу на нас в суд. Суд признал за нами право собственности в 1999 году на данный дом. Суд Хосинский. Эти ребята из администрации города Сочи при поддержке департамента вот этого краевого идут в апелляционную инстанцию Краснодарского краевого суда и за 2 минуты буквально признают наш дом самовольной постройкой.
People who were evicted, they experienced a government, a power that was just going to come in and do what it wanted to do without any regard for those individuals. Russia hosts millions of migrant workers every year. Huge numbers of them work in the construction sector. In Sochi itself, the official numbers from the Russian government have been on the order of tens of thousands. An unknown portion of them are migrant workers. Migrant workers typically come from the poorer countries of Central Asia. Workers face a range of abuses, in particular, non-payment of wages. Some said that they had their passports withheld. Workers across all sites told us that they worked 12-hour shifts, directly in violation of Russian law. People in Sochi feel that there hasn't been sufficient transparency from the authorities about what's being built, when it's being built, what it's for.
Олимпиаду мы приветствуем, олимпийское развитие мы приветствуем и хотим, чтобы удивить весь мир. А здесь вот этим вот мы, я думаю, не удивим. Мы, наоборот, опозоримся с таким вот строительством, которое здесь будет происходить.
So Russia's planning to build what is purported to be the largest natural gas thermal plant in a village that's part of Sochi. The Russian authorities started some preliminary construction without doing the due diligence to inspect the site for what the potential impacts on people's lives, homes, and livelihoods could be.
Называются шпунты, они должны быть вынуты отсюда. Это временное сооружение непосредственно для того, чтобы вести работы. Когда они делали, вот видите, под эти опоры, они забивали горнобивные сваи, вот они видны хорошо.
There have been landslides as a result of construction related to Olympic infrastructure or dumping of construction materials that have been so severe that houses have slid down the hill. They've become very unstable. but people don't have any other choice but to continue to live in them.
Когда у нас пытались определить, это чрезвычайная ситуация или не чрезвычайная ситуация, то к нам приезжал глава по чрезвычайной ситуации. Он осмотрел здесь все, побывал у меня в доме у соседей, постоял здесь 5 минут и сказал, что у него кружится голова. При этом он вышел на улицу, а потом сказал, что это не будет признано чрезвычайной ситуацией, потому что трупов нет. И все.
And in one neighborhood where people complained to the authorities, the government came in and did an inspection and determined that a number of the houses were uninhabitable and then threatened to take one family's children away. So you see this kind of double punishment that not only people have lost their homes because of these landslides, but then the state is coming in further to say this home isn't a place where your children can live anymore. People in Sochi feel that the Olympics are coming to town and they have had no say in what has gone on and how those Olympics have been developed and what it's going to mean for their lives. The hosting of a successful Winter Olympic Games is completely within Russia's hands. It's fully within its power to ensure that people don't suffer as a result of the Games.